Hi, my name is Roger Schlitter. This video is actually, I'm doing a couple today that are kind of short. So anyway, it's actually the title of it is SBA submission items that are time sensitive. And a lot of people don't understand when, they're doing it, they're either the bank or some entity is actually helping them apply for an SBA loan. Either it would be a bank or a lot of times it would be the a certified development company doing a 504 or something like that. Banks usually just do the 7As, but they are involved in the 504s also. But anyway, there are a lot of sensitive submission dates that you have to watch out for, or days. And a lot of times if the borrower knows this, it's a lot easier because sometimes the person putting it together, the banker, whoever, is not really going to tell you about these. He's just going to say, hey, I need this and I need it like now. So anyway, SBA applications can have up to a lot of them can have up to 28 separate submission items. Most of those are just documents and do not have, a useful life. A lot of them, you can use one that's 2 years old, it doesn't really make any difference. But some of these documents must be submitted within a certain time period. And that means that they're only good for a length of time with SBA, and after that time period, a new form must be submitted. Now, a lot of times, depending on how the form was done, you can change the date or whatever. A lot of times, they're not real specific. I've never seen them say, "Hey, this signature looks exactly the same." But anyway, as long as the dates match up, they're usually good with it. And it is just an application. We're not talking closing documents. So anyway, there's really 7 documents that are only good in an application, SBA application, for a certain length of time. Basically, they are the number one would be the applications for the 504 program, the Form 1244, and then also the 7A program, the Form 1919. They both need to be submitted within 90 days. After 90 days, SBA will not accept the form and will return to the bank or CDC, whoever gave them the form, will actually send it back and we'll tell them they need a new form. And they need new signatures in that. And basically, they just need new dates on it. But these forms are usually filled out and signed fairly close to submission. So this is rarely a problem. I mean, usually the application and I know for the CDC, the 1244, those and the 7A application, the 1919, are both usually filled out and signed. Usually you get them signed right before you send it in, so the signatures and dates are pretty fresh, at that point. Number 2, the personal financial statement. Personal financial statement must be signed and dated within 90 days of submission to SBA. And they're very particular about that. I mean, if it's, one day off, they will say we need a new one. So usually what we do is we try to make sure that form is signed so that it's way before the 90 days, that you'll have a good, anywhere from 90 days to 60 days or something like that is still good for after it's submitted. Interim financial statements and the current financial statements really must be dated within 120 days of submission to SBA. And that is, banks aren't that, boy, I tell you, I've seen banks that take a personal financial statement that is like a year or 2 old. I've seen them take them, they're not signed, all sorts of stuff. But SBA is very particular about their documents. And the interim financial and current financial statements really must be dated within 120 days of submission. So not, when usually you're getting tax returns because they count for both the tax return and the financial statement. So usually for year ends, if you were doing one currently, you'd probably get a 2024, a 2025. And then for 2026, for this year, you're basically going to do an interim financial statement. Well, that interim financial statement has to be dated within 120 days of the SBA submission. So that 120 days, they're very particular about. So you would actually, at this point, it depends what month you're doing it, but if you're doing it in July, I mean, you cannot send in like a January or something. I mean, you have to have it pretty close. So what we usually do is make sure that there's ample room, so that, instead of being close to 120 days, it's more like within the last 30 days, so we have plenty of time and everything works out well. So then the fourth thing would be the bank letter. And those usually have to be submitted within 90 days. But this is a lot of times frequently overlooked by SBA. A lot of times they're not as particular about that, but it depends on who's looking at it. I've seen them where the things are older and they don't seem to care, and then I've seen them that, they want the date on it, they want the signature, they just get real particular over the bank letter. So anyway, it's good to have it within the rules, within the 90 days. Credit reports also have to be submitted within 90 days. So if somebody's, if you're doing a credit report and you do it at the beginning of the loan process, by the end of the loan process, the bank, we may be running another one. It depends. And banks aren't that. I've seen banks use, credit reports that are older, so they're not quite as, if it's representative of the person, they're fine. And usually the bank knows the business or the person a lot better than SBA does. So anyway, the appraisal of real property. Appraisals are good for 1 year or 365 days, but if they are older, then you have to do a new appraisal. And sometimes that's a problem, with borrowers because they don't want to pay for another one. So anyway, it's good to always get those within the time period, just so you don't have to have another one done. SBA always asks for an environmental report. Banks are getting real lax on getting environmental reports. But anyway, the SBA, it's the same as the appraisal. Has to be within 1 year, 365 days. And a lot of times, those are expensive too. So a lot of times people don't want to have more than one done. So you want to make sure you have it done. You don't want to have it done and then put it on hold for 9 months or something. You really want to have it, the application rolling when you get that form, when you get that environmental or that appraisal done. That's about it. The rest of the documents, a lot of them are not as time sensitive. And so anyway, thank you very much. Please subscribe and hit the bell for future videos. And thank you very much. Hey, really appreciate it. And I will catch you in the next video. Thank you.